Hello everybody, this is Delta, and we're doing some more G-senjou no Maou. And I'll try to get this past this as fast as I can so I can actually put more into this. Right, he stands there, pondering. It's been almost an hour. Maou closes his eyes. There is no heating, and the ice-cold walls pressed against his back. With such indifference to the cold, it's as if he were a monk who had suppressed all sensation from the outside world. Maou already has a plan. When the plan is carried out, a crime of historical proportions will be brought upon this very city. However, the time is still not right. All the preparations have been made. All that remains was to simply await the perfect moment. It is, to use a cliché, like the calm before the storm. Are there any loose ends left to neatly tie together? Did he miss anything during the planning phase? He pondered this over and over. He always arrived at the same answer. There's nothing left to do. Right now, his best course of action is to lay low. Yazami Haru. If there's an unknown factor in the plan, it's her. Maou used a detective agency to check up on Yazami Haru. That long-haired girl is quite different from the normal high school student. He had experienced her incredible intelligence firsthand. The detectives had searched her personal contacts and background as well. In the process, they uncovered that Yazami Haru had another side to her. However, it's not something that could threaten Mao's plans. What need is there to fear her? There are plenty of other people who could also hold a grudge against Maou. He heard the sound of the elevator moving. Samoya bows deeply. A hint of sweat rolled down his forehead as he stood up straight. He stared at Samoya's red face. He spoke to him with his eyes. It was not a meeting, but a party, wasn't it? I also did my homework about you. How much you love that liquor. Samoya breathed out, words drenched in the smell of alcohol. Alcohol is always important business. The conversation immediately switched gears. Samoya is now quite submissive to Maou. Seeing him soundly defeated, even the genius from Boston apparently left quite the impact on him. Samoya doesn't know anything about Maou. Name, age, history, all his information has been fabricated. But in some businesses, it's better not to know your partner's true nature. After all, it's easy to escape the law that way, if it happened to come to that. Samoya tried to be understanding. Mao's biggest contribution to the Sanao Corporation was smuggling of firearms. Since before the war, the nation's firearm industry was mobilized by a single company. Mao's prowess, is what helped break the monopoly on the Japanese firearms market. The Japanese tax on imports was harsh, but Maou saw a weak point in their low tax on exports by establishing a base in the ports of Nagata and Fukuoka, and by forming ties with miscreant foreigners who had past experiences in doing business with organized crime groups, he formed a route between North Korea and Hong Kong. There was a number of huge risks involved. He knew that the country's crisis management was something not to be underestimated. But regardless of how powerful his enemy may be, it was something he had to do. They finished talking about business. They covered topics like how to cover up the weapons, the methods in which to smuggle them, which people they need to win over to their side, anything that had to be taken care of. So Moya finally relaxed. The alcohol must have been wearing off. So Moya looked a little tense. That look in his eyes is not bad at all, he thought. From the very beginning, Maou had never taken Samaya lightly. True, he didn't think he wasn't easy to manipulate, but not to the point where he would hold contempt for him. When Samaya ascended to the position of Director of Senior Management for the Sanao Corporation, he took the organization in a whole new direction. As part of a policy of rapid expansion, the company invests most of its proceeds into new and different ventures. Of course, since the new plan involves giving lower priority to employees bonuses, there was no shortage of opposition to it. But all of this, even working with Maou and experiencing into illegal business, was all for the sake of the company. There's always so much reading with these guys, aren't there? He said that sincerely. Even though people call him Maou, Maou had never actually thought of himself as some sort of overbearing existence. He knew that Samoya, being over 30 years older than himself, no doubt had a certain capabilities with which he himself could not compare. He said this absolutely. Samoya lowered his head. The man seemed to be trying to hide his disappointment. Uh-oh.
土地を手放したくない人間がいるんですね。相場の2倍の金を出すと言っても聞いてくれない。あまりに困ったんでプロを雇うことにしたよ。
Probably specialists in organized violence. Samoya likes these brute methods too. Nowadays though, land sharks can't use the same kinds of violent methods they did back during the bubble. What's the bubble? It's understandable that he'd have trouble making a settlement.
あと、たったの一区画なんだがね。
Samoya took out his notebook. Addresses and blueprints were scattered throughout the pages. He flipped to the page which listed the families unwilling to move out.
いずれにせよ、私には関係のない話です。
Maou flung his hand to cast away the request.
これはすまなかった。君の手を煩わせるつもりはない。染谷室長が手を煩わせるほどのことでもないでしょう。
Indeed, it would be more appropriate for the section chief at a subsidiary company to be worrying like this over this worrying like this over this matter. He was well aware of how much effort that Sanao Corporation had invested into in the Eastern District recreational project. Still, Samoya was the director of senior management at corporation headquarters. It would be hard to swallow that this project was so important to him. Certainly there was more to the story.
国土交通省の方とお会いになっているそうですね。
君にはかなわんな。そう、株だよ。
Insider trading. Indeed, if the project proceeded successfully, the value of the stock would skyrocket and fast. Samoya obviously passed on some information to bribe the official. Just then, Mao picked out a name from Samoya's notebook.
三輪椿。
He closed his eyes. Miwa Tsubaki. Where had he heard this name before?
どうかしたのかね。
いえ、
気分が悪そうだが。
Oh yes. She's an acquaintance of Yuzami
この
Haru.
三輪椿という少女は自由ヶ崎学園に通っているのでは。
知り合いかね。
Oh! I'm only starting to get like the some of like the details of what's happening. Yeah. I'm starting to figure things out already. Ha 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 ha. Ah, yes. Mao chuckled. What should he do with his free time before the storm? The answer to the object of his ceaseless pondering had come together in an instant. He could use Tsubaki to corner Yuzami Haru, forcing her to
染
submit.
谷室長、私に任せていただきたい。
Samoya caught his breath.
どういう風の吹き回しだ。
南米のテロリストの話です。旅客機の中にテロリストが狙う要人がいました。テロリストは要人を殺害するだけでは気が済まなかった。何の罪もない旅客を巻き添えにして飛行機を墜落させました。
Mao's lips twisted into a frown. Negative emotions stirred within him. Emotions he could not suppress. Just as Mao had said, he does not have a dream himself.
私の心にあるのはただ一つです。
さっきから何を言ってるんだ。
すべてお任せください。
Mao turned away from Samoya. His whole body trembled. There was one thing, one emotion, able to force Mao into action. Revenge. Only revenge. It's over! Yes! So much reading. Oh god. Right, time to carry on. Right. In the end, I never went to Tsubaki's house yesterday. Well, I'll go there some other time. I had to leave Tsubaki due to an emergency. Oh, I'm terribly sorry about yesterday. Tsubaki, unaware of the conflicting thoughts inside me, gave her usual smile. Do you think I could come over to your house and hang out sometime soon? So, does that mean I can't? I think I actually said something like this to one of my friends before. I hate that feeling, you know, when you basically don't want anyone to come over and someone asks, or I don't know, you know what I mean. It's like what is the rude thing? Usually it's normal to ask someone to come over your house, but then how do you go to their house or something like that? If they're not going to mention to come to my to your house or whatever, I'm just like I don't even know what I'm even saying myself anymore. I best not give ideas of what I am saying. Okay, now let's I can't speak. Okay, I've calmed down. Let's carry on. What's up? It's unusual for you to appear so flustered. Embarrassed? Oh, now I really want to go. How about today? Eh? I smiled and moved closer to her. Uh-oh.
うちに来るっていうことは、お父さんにも紹介しなきゃいけないよ。
So what? It's not like I'm asking for your hand in marriage.
でも、お父さんとか勘違いして舞い上がっちゃうよ。何困ってるの、椿ちゃん。
Ichi made an appearance out of nowhere.
いや、浅井くんがうちに来たいって。ダメなの？ダメじゃないけど、恥ずかしいなって。
I suppose it is fine to ask to go over someone's house, but then I just haven't really ever done that myself. Usually I get invited to go over someone's house instead of asking, can I come over? I suppose that makes sense. Yeah.
じゃあ、僕も一緒に行ってあげるよ。
What? Look, kid, I don't need a tag along.
じゃあ自分も一緒に。
Don't butt in when you aren't welcome. Why did the two of you suddenly pop up anyway?
ただ自分あれなんすよね。今日はちょっとだけバイトなんで少し遅くなるかもしれません。僕もペットに餌あげてから行くね。あ、じゃあ一緒に行きましょう、絵手吉さん。いいよ。駅で待ち合わせしない？
Tsubaki raised her head.
みんな一緒ならいいかな。やったわ。
Oh, okay. Is that actually what we is in Japanese? Ah! Well, whatever. I made a few phone calls between classes. I needed to discuss the Miwa family. I was getting some heat for being too slow with my work. Oh, hello, yes, this is your Kioske. Please go there tonight again. Yes, under no circumstances are you to get too rough. Is that understood? Oh, no, under no circumstances are you to get too rough. Is that understood? I called the company and asked them to send some people over to Tsubaki's house tonight. I tried to go and check out the place too. There's a reason they're not selling. The whole eastern district is a rural area. Indeed, the property value has risen tremendously due to everyone's attention on the upcoming ski resort. But it's nowhere near the value of downtown property. They must have lots of guts to turn down an offer several times higher than the property's worth. My job is to uncover the reason behind their persistent refusal, and then destroy that reason little by little. Suddenly, I spotted Shiratori with in the corner of my eye. Hey! How's it hanging? She barely looked at me. A couple of us are going to Tsubaki's house tonight. You want to come along? Too? Yeah!
遠慮しておくわ。
Okay! Don't say that. It'll be fun if, to have a little get-together. We're going to have a big party. Big nab party. What's a nab? As a family. Come on, what do you say?
授業始まるわよ。
She turned around to leave. Hey, hold on a second. Why do you hate me so much?
あなた、自分がどういう人間なのか自覚していないのね。
What kind of person am I?
あなたの裏の顔を知ったら、一緒に鍋パーティーなんてしたがるかしら。
Don't be like that. You want to make everyone leave me by telling them about my true self?
あなたは本当に友達を友達として見てるの？
God, this girl just doesn't quit. Let me ask you something, Shiratori. Have I wronged you in any way? Perhaps I do have a dark side, one that I wish to hide. Does that affect you negatively in any way? Of course it doesn't. Shitori was just afraid of me. It's not like I'm going to eat you. Let's be friends, okay? I reached out my hand courteously.
いや、
Absolute rejection. Even though even her back was visibly angry. Ooh. How do you do that? Like, I guess the shoulders must be very tense. Urgh. Jeez. What the hell did I do wrong? I think that might be a good point to end it, seeing as we're about to come up. I think the next part will be probably all about Tsubaki's family. So that takes care of one part as well. So I'll probably end the recording here, and I'll carry on not later on. But then for you guys, it'll probably be like the next day, or maybe, or it might be in the same day. Who knows? Depends on what I feel like uploading. Might be another part of Amnesia, might be another part of this. Who knows? Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, share, and if you want to request a game for me to play. That would help me a lot, actually. Please. Okay. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.